Let's compare it to the size of my head. Andre the...
One person's legs grew longer than most kids, while another man's forearms are bigger than watermelons. And believe it or not, one man was so tall he could reach into a dolphin's stomach. These are the 20 largest humans to ever live. Number 20, Elisan Silva. Meet Elisan Silva, a Brazilian model who stands at an incredible 2.07 meters or 6 feet 9 inches, making her one of the tallest women in Brazil. But Elisan's journey to fame wasn't always glamorous. It was a battle against her own body. Born in a small town, she started growing rapidly in her early teens, and by age 15, she had already surpassed the 2-meter mark. The reason? A tumor on her pituitary gland, the very organ that controls growth. While her towering height made her unique, it also brought severe problems like painful joints, blurred vision, and the challenge of constantly outgrowing clothes and shoes. Yet, instead of letting this define her, Elisan took charge. With her family's support and medical help, she found ways to manage her health. Then came her big break. She stepped into the world of modeling. The same height that once made her feel like an outsider now turned her into a star. What was once a source of insecurity transformed into her greatest asset, and Elisan's presence on the runway became unforgettable. Number 19, Macy Curran. Next is Macy Curran, a Texas teen who can literally reach for the stars. Standing at nearly 2 meters tall, 6 feet 10 inches, she holds the record for the world's longest legs. Macy's legs alone measure 135 centimeters, 4 feet 5 inches, making her legs longer than most kids are tall. What's even more surprising is that there's no medical condition behind her extraordinary height. It's just part of her genes, like having curly hair or green eyes. But being super tall wasn't always easy for Macy. Growing up, she faced teasing and awkward stares from classmates who thought she was too different. This made her feel self-conscious, and there were times she wished she could just blend in. However, instead of letting the negativity bring her down, Macy found strength in her uniqueness. Her family and friends helped her see her height as something special, not something to hide. With their encouragement, Macy started to embrace her long legs, realizing they made her one of a kind. Now, she inspires others to love what makes them different, proving that sometimes standing out is the best thing you can do. Number 18, Sultan Kosen. Imagine being so tall that finding clothes that fit or shoes that are comfortable feels impossible. That's the reality for Sultan Kosen, a man from Turkey who holds the Guinness World Record as the tallest person alive. Born in 1982, Sultan stands at an astonishing height of 2.51 meters, which is over 8 feet tall. Sultan's incredible height is due to a condition called pituitary gigantism. This condition means that, as a child, his body produced way too much growth hormone. Normally, this hormone helps kids grow, but in Sultan's case, it didn't stop, and he just kept getting taller and taller. But being the tallest person in the world isn't as easy as it sounds. For Sultan, everyday things became big challenges. For example, finding clothes that fit is a huge struggle, and he often has to get them custom-made, which can be both time-consuming and expensive. Shoes are another problem. Standard sizes don't even come close to fitting his feet, so he has to have those specially made too. Even going to school was tough for Sultan. His height made it difficult to sit in a regular classroom, which meant he couldn't attend school like other kids. Missing out on school was hard, because Sultan wanted to learn and make friends like everyone else. Number 17. Jeff Dabe. Have you ever seen hands so huge that they look like they belong to a cartoon character? Meet Jeff Dabe, a man whose hands and arms are so enormous that they've made him a superstar in the world of arm wrestling. Jeff's forearms are something out of this world. They measure nearly half a meter around, which is like having a small watermelon for an arm. What's really fascinating is that doctors have no idea why Jeff's hands and arms are so big. They've studied him extensively and found no medical explanation. It's as if Jeff's body just decided to go into supersize mode for his arms. As a young man, Jeff quickly discovered he was much stronger than most people. He could beat just about anyone in an arm wrestling match without even trying, so he started competing in local and regional contests. It didn't take long for word to spread about the guy with the giant hands, and soon everyone wanted to take on Jeff. Number 16. Bamba jaav ulambayar. Standing nearly 2 meters tall, about 6 feet 6 inches, and weighing 158 kilograms, around 350 pounds, Bamba jaav ulambayar, or Ulai, is impossible to miss. But it's not just his size that makes him special. It's what he's achieved with it that truly sets him apart. Ulai's journey began in Mongolia, a country famous for its strong wrestling traditions. As a young boy, he was drawn to sumo wrestling, a Japanese sport where size and strength are crucial. He dedicated himself to training every single day, working hard to become the best. And his dedication paid off in a big way. In 2006 and 2007, Ulai won the Sumo World Championship titles, a feat that's like winning the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. These victories didn't just make him a hero in Mongolia, they turned him into a star across the globe. But Ulai's story didn't end in the sumo ring. His massive size and friendly personality caught the attention of Hollywood. He landed a role in the movie Ocean's 13, and soon after, TV shows came calling. He appeared on reality shows like King of the Nerds, Big Brother, and even The Bachelorette, showcasing not just his size, but also his charm and sense of humor. Number 15. Rumisa Gelgi. Rumisa Gelgi quite literally stands out from the crowd. This incredible woman from Turkey holds the Guinness World Record as the tallest living woman in the world. To put her height into perspective, Rumisa measures over 215 centimeters, 7 feet 1 inch, tall, which makes her taller than most professional basketball players. Her extraordinary height is the result of a rare condition called Weaver syndrome. This syndrome acts like a growth booster that doesn't know when to hit the brakes, causing Rumisa to grow much faster and taller than other children her age. But being exceptionally tall isn't all it's cracked up to be. Weaver syndrome doesn't just affect height, it brings along a host of health challenges. For Rumisa, this meant coping with constant pain, difficulty moving around, and spending a lot of her childhood in hospitals. There were many tough days, but doctors worked tirelessly to help her. Despite all the struggles, Rumisa refused to let her condition control her life. She decided to use her unique situation to raise awareness about rare diseases, thinking, if people are going to stare at me anyway, I might as well teach them something. Her determination paid off, as she went on to achieve not just 1, but 5 Guinness World Records. Alongside being the tallest woman, she also holds records for the longest fingers and the largest hands of any living woman, making her famous worldwide. Number 14. Nikolai Valuev. Now imagine a man so tall that he has to duck through doorways and whose fists are as big as small hams. That's Nikolai Valuev, who stands at a towering 2.13 meters, 7 feet, and weighs in at 148 kilograms, 326 pounds. This sheer size earned him the nickname the Russian Giant, and it's easy to see why. Valuev wasn't just a big guy. He was a powerhouse in the boxing ring. His journey began in 1993 when he threw his first professional punch. Critics doubted him, saying his size would be a disadvantage and make him slow. But Nikolai proved them wrong with every match, showing that his size came with remarkable skill. His moment of glory came in 2005 when he won the WBA heavyweight title, making history as the first Russian to ever do so. The boxing world was stunned. Here was this giant from St. Petersburg, rewriting the rules of the sport. And he didn't stop there. Valuev defended his title multiple times, using his powerful punches and stamina to keep his opponents at bay. However, being so large came with a price. The same limbs that delivered crushing blows also caused him intense pain, and joint problems began to take their toll. In 2009, after a tough match against David Haye, Nikolai had to make a difficult choice. His body was sending clear signals that it couldn't handle the wear and tear anymore. With a heavy heart, he retired from boxing, choosing his long-term health over the pursuit of more titles. Number 13. Sajad Garibi. Better known as the Iranian Hulk, Sajad Garibi has captured global attention with his incredible, almost unreal physique. In today's age of social media, he's become famous for his jaw-dropping size, with arms thicker than most people's thighs and a chest that looks like it was carved out of solid rock. Standing just under 2 meters, 6 feet 6 inches, and weighing a muscular 174 kilograms, 384 pounds, Sajad's build is a testament to years of dedication to weightlifting. His workout videos, where he lifts weights that most people can only dream of, have turned him into an internet sensation. These feats of strength have earned him millions of followers, who often refer to him as a real-life Hulk. But Sajad isn't just content with being a social media icon. He's stepped into the world of mixed martial arts, MMA, a bold move for someone more accustomed to lifting heavy weights than trading punches. His transition into MMA, however, hasn't been easy. The switch from weightlifting to combat sports has been a tough challenge, and so far, his performances in the ring haven't quite lived up to his intimidating appearance. But as always, Sajad continues to push himself, determined to make his mark in the world of fighting. Number 12. Morteza Mazhar. Morteza Mazhar stands at over 8 feet tall, making him one of the tallest people in the world. His incredible height is the result of a medical condition that caused him to grow excessively. When Morteza was 15 years old, he suffered a severe bicycle accident that broke his pelvis. As a result, one of his legs stopped growing, leaving him with a significant difference in leg length. After the accident, Morteza felt discouraged and began using a wheelchair and crutches to get around. But his life took an unexpected turn when a volleyball coach named Hadi saw him on a TV show about talented individuals with disabilities. Recognizing Morteza's potential, Hadi reached out to him and encouraged him to try sitting volleyball. Morteza took up the challenge and started training hard. His dedication paid off when he made it onto Iran's national sitting volleyball team in 2016. That same year, he competed in his first Paralympic Games in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Morteza's performance was outstanding. He scored 28 points in the gold medal match against Bosnia and Herzegovina, leading Iran to victory and earning his first Paralympic gold medal. Morteza's success didn't stop there. In 2018, he helped Iran win the World Championships, and in the following years, 2019, 2021, and 2022, he was named the best sitting volleyball player in the world. He continued his winning streak, securing another Paralympic gold in Tokyo 2020 and a second World Championship in 2022, both times defeating Bosnia and Herzegovina in the finals. Number 11. Olivier Ritter. Olivier Ritter, known as the Dutch Giant, stands at an incredible 2.18 meters, 7 feet 2 inches, and weighs 153 kilograms, 337 pounds, of pure muscle. His journey is a remarkable story of how dedication and discipline can lead to success in multiple fields. Ritter's first made his mark in the world of bodybuilding. His training routine is legendary, consisting of grueling workout sessions that push the limits of human endurance. His hard work paid off, resulting in a physique that looks like it belongs in a superhero comic book. With his massive frame and unmatched dedication, he quickly became a standout figure in bodybuilding circles. But Olivier didn't stop there. He set his sights on a completely different goal: Hollywood. In an industry where appearances matter, his extraordinary size could have been a disadvantage. Instead, it became his ticket to stardom. Directors, always on the lookout for unique characters, couldn't ignore the presence of the Dutch Giant. His big break came when he landed a role in the Marvel blockbuster Black Widow. Sharing the screen with A-list stars, Ritter's proved that he was more than just a muscle-bound bodybuilder. His performance added a unique element to the film, and this opened the door to more high-profile projects. From dominating bodybuilding stages to making a name for himself in Hollywood, Olivier Ritter has shown that with unwavering determination, you can excel in completely different fields. Number 10. Juan Pedro Franco. Juan Pedro Franco's story is one of the most remarkable tales of transformation in medical history. Once weighing a staggering 584 kilograms, 1,287 pounds, Juan held the Guinness World Record for being the heaviest man alive. But his journey is not just about weight. It's a powerful story of resilience and determination. Born in Mexico, Franco's struggle with obesity began in his childhood. A combination of genetics, environmental factors, and health issues caused his weight to spiral out of control. By the time he reached his early 30s, his size had confined him to his bed, making even basic tasks like breathing a monumental challenge. His weight was more than just a physical burden. It was a serious threat to his life, bringing numerous health complications with it. Refusing to accept his fate, Juan embarked on an extraordinary journey in 2017 when his weight was at its peak. With the support of a dedicated medical team, he underwent a series of bariatric surgeries, which were extremely risky given his size. The procedures were life-saving, but also dangerous. His extreme weight made even routine anesthesia a risky endeavor. But Juan Pedro Franco was determined to turn his life around. After the surgeries, he committed to a strict diet and physical therapy regimen. Every step forward was a battle, but he didn't give up. Slowly but steadily, he began to shed the pounds and reclaim his life. His incredible transformation captured global attention, not just for the dramatic weight loss, but for the courage and tenacity he showed in overcoming such tremendous odds. Number 9. Yao Dian. In the quiet villages of China, there was once a woman named Yao Dian who seemed to almost touch the sky with her incredible height. Born in 1972, Yao became the tallest woman ever recorded, reaching a staggering 259 centimeters, 8 feet 6 inches. Yao didn't choose to be this tall. Her extraordinary height was caused by a tiny tumor on her pituitary gland, leading to a condition known as gigantism. This tiny growth led her body to produce far too much growth hormone, making her grow at an incredible rate, almost like a bamboo stalk. Growing up, Yao's life was a blend of awe and struggle. While many marveled at her towering stature, she had to navigate a world that wasn't designed for someone her size. Everyday tasks like finding clothes that fit or simply getting through doorways became huge challenges. Her rapid growth also took a toll on her health. Her heart was under constant strain, Her joints were always aching, and even moving around became difficult. Living in rural China made things even harder, as advanced medical care wasn't easily available. By the time she finally underwent surgery to remove the tumor, years of unchecked growth had already affected her body. Despite these hardships, Yao remained incredibly strong and positive. She became a symbol of resilience, using her unique situation to raise awareness about rare medical conditions. Sadly, Yao's journey ended too soon when she passed away in 2012 at the age of 40. But her legacy lives on as a beacon of courage. Number 8. Sun Ming Ming. In the bustling cities of China, a young boy named Sun Ming Ming kept growing taller and taller, much like a sunflower reaching for the sun. By the time he stepped onto a basketball court, he stood at an astonishing 236 centimeters, 7 feet 9 inches, towering over everyone around him. Sun's incredible height was caused by a small tumor on his pituitary gland, resulting in a condition called gigantism. But instead of letting this define him, Sun used his extraordinary size to chase his passion for basketball. His journey began in local basketball leagues in China, where his incredible reach allowed him to dunk without even jumping and block shots effortlessly. Word of this giant from China spread quickly, and it wasn't long before basketball scouts from around the world took notice. Soon, Sun was headed to the United States, the land of basketball dreams, to take his skills to the next level. In America, Sun faced a whole new set of challenges. The game was faster, and the players were more skilled than he had ever encountered. While his height gave him an advantage, Sun realized he needed more than that to truly succeed. He worked tirelessly on his footwork, stamina, and overall basketball knowledge. His hard work paid off when he joined the NBA's Development League, a stepping stone for many great players. Although he never made it to the main NBA stage, Sun Ming Ming's journey left a lasting impact on the basketball world, proving that determination and passion can take you far. Number 7. Rahim Takula. Rahim Takula turns heads wherever he goes in the vibrant streets of Paris, and for good reason. Standing at 246 centimeters, 8 feet 1 inch, he is the second tallest man alive. But what makes Brahim truly remarkable isn't just his height, it's his big heart and positive attitude. Born in Morocco, Brahim's extraordinary growth started in his teenage years due to a condition called acromegaly. This condition made his body continue to grow long after it should have stopped, all because of a tumor on his pituitary gland. By the time doctors figured out what was happening, Brahim was already towering over everyone around him. Life as one of the tallest people in the world comes with plenty of challenges. Things that others take for granted, like finding clothes that fit or even sitting in a car, are daily struggles for Brahim. Walking can also be tough because his joints have to carry so much weight. But instead of letting these challenges bring him down, Brahim decided to turn them into something positive. He found a job at a theme park in Paris, where he's not just any employee, he's the star attraction. Visitors from all over the world come to see Brahim, take pictures with him, and hear his story. With his gentle personality and willingness to share his experiences, Rahim Takula uses his unique gift to bring people together, proving that our differences can be something to celebrate. Number 6. John Rogan. In the rolling hills of Tennessee during the late 1800s, a remarkable young man named John Rogan became a local legend, not just for his height, but for his inspiring spirit. Standing at an incredible 267 centimeters, almost 9 feet tall, John holds the record as the tallest African American ever recorded. Born in 1868, just after the Civil War, John's life was filled with challenges, not only because of his extraordinary height, but also because he was black in a time of severe racial prejudice. John's growth spurt began in his teenage years due to a tumor on his pituitary gland, which caused a condition known as gigantism. Unfortunately, in those days, there was no treatment available, so John kept growing without any way to stop it. By his 20s, he had grown so tall that he could no longer stand upright in his family's small cabin. Walking became nearly impossible, and he had to use a cart pulled by goats to get around. What makes John's story truly beautiful is how his community rallied around him. Despite the racial tensions of that era, neighbors, both black and white, came together to help him. They built him a special cart and raised money to support him when he couldn't work. John became a local attraction, not in a sideshow sense, but as a respected and beloved figure. He sold photos of himself and small items to visitors, using his fame to help support his family. His gentle nature and kind heart made him a symbol of resilience and unity in his community. Although John Rogan passed away at the young age of 37, his legacy lives on as a reminder that kindness can rise above even the toughest challenges. Number 5. Ho Van Trung. Ho Van Trung, who was born in 1983 in Vietnam, reached an astonishing height of 272 centimeters, almost 9 feet, making him the tallest man in Vietnam and the 6th tallest person in history. But Trung's story is more than just about his height. It's a heartfelt tale of a life that ended too soon. Trung's extraordinary growth began in his teenage years. At first, his family thought he was just going through a normal growth spurt, but as he kept growing taller and taller, they knew something wasn't right. Doctors discovered that a tumor on his pituitary gland was causing a condition called gigantism. This tiny tumor flooded Trung's body with growth hormone, making him grow at a rapid pace. Living as a giant came with countless difficulties. Trung had to duck through doorways, and finding clothes that fit him was nearly impossible. His joints ached under the strain of carrying his enormous frame, and simple tasks like riding a bus or sitting in a classroom were out of reach. Yet, despite all these hardships, Trung was known for his kind heart and gentle spirit. Doctors tried to help by performing surgery to remove the tumor, hoping to stop his uncontrolled growth. But by then, years of rapid growth had already taken a heavy toll on his body. His heart struggled to pump blood through his massive frame, and his joints could no longer bear his weight. Tragically, Trung passed away in 2014 at the young age of 31. His death was a great loss to Vietnam and the world, as many remember him as a gentle giant with a heart as big as his stature. Number 4. Bao Shishun. Bao Shishun, from Inner Mongolia, China, was a man who stood out not just for his impressive height of over 7.5 feet, but also for his big heart. For several years, he held the Guinness World Record as the tallest living man. Interestingly, Bao didn't start out tall. He was of normal height until he turned 16, when he suddenly started growing and couldn't stop. After finishing school, Bao joined the Chinese army, where he served for 3 years. When he left the army, he returned home to live with his mother and took a job at a local hospital. In 2005, Guinness World Records officially recognized Bao as the tallest man alive, measuring almost 8 feet tall. But being that tall wasn't without its challenges. Bao suffered from rheumatism, which made his joints stiff and sore. Despite this, Bao used his long arms, which measured about 3.5 feet, to make a real difference. In 2006, an incident at a zoo proved just how special Bao really was. 2 dolphins had accidentally swallowed pieces of plastic that were stuck in their stomachs, making them sick. The zoo doctors couldn't reach the plastic to remove it. That's when Bao stepped in. Using his incredibly long arms, He reached deep into the dolphins' mouths and carefully pulled out the plastic, saving their lives. The dolphins recovered quickly, all thanks to Bao. A couple of years later, in 2007, Bao got married to a woman named Xia Shujuan, and they had a traditional Mongolian wedding ceremony. In 2008, they welcomed a son into their family. Bao even became a bit of a celebrity, appearing on the TV show The Amazing Race in 2010 as a guest greeter. Although he is no longer the world's tallest man, Bao Shishun will always be remembered for his incredible height and the kindness he showed to those around him. Number 3, Ronnie Coleman. Every bodybuilder knows the name Ronnie Coleman. Born in 1964 in Monroe, Louisiana, Ronnie didn't just lift weights, he transformed the sport of bodybuilding, sculpting a physique that looked more like a Marvel superhero than a real person. Picture this: a man standing 180 centimeters, 5 feet 11 inches, tall, weighing a rock-solid 136 kilograms, 300 pounds, with muscles so defined that you could practically study anatomy from his photos. But Ronnie wasn't always this way. He built this incredible body, one grueling rep at a time. Ronnie's journey started with football and law enforcement. He began lifting weights to stay in shape for his job as a police officer. One day, a gym owner saw Ronnie's potential and offered him a deal. Compete for me, and the gym membership's free. Ronnie agreed, thinking, why not? That simple decision became his ticket to greatness. From 1998 to 2005, Ronnie Coleman did what most thought was impossible. He won the Mr. Olympia title, the Super Bowl of bodybuilding, 8 times in a row. It's like winning the World Cup every year for nearly a decade. His iconic catchphrases, "Yeah, buddy," and "lightweight baby," echoed in gyms worldwide, inspiring millions to push themselves harder. What set Ronnie apart wasn't just his victories, it was his relentless work ethic. While others hit their limits, Ronnie would smile and say, "Ain't nothing but a peanut," and then lift even more. His training videos look like action movies, with weights that make other bodybuilders seem like they're lifting toys. Number 2, Yao Ming. In 1980, a baby was born in Shanghai who would grow up to change the world of basketball and bring 2 giant nations closer together. That baby was Yao Ming, who eventually stood at an incredible 229 centimeters, 7 feet 6 inches, tall. But Yao's story isn't just about his height. It's about how he used it to break barriers and connect cultures. As a kid, Yao was already towering over his peers in China, and by the time he was 13, he was playing professional basketball in China. In 2002, the Houston Rockets made Yao their first pick in the NBA draft. This wasn't just a big moment for Yao, it was a huge deal for China and the NBA. Almost overnight, millions of Chinese fans started tuning in to watch this gentle giant on the court. Yao didn't disappoint. He became an 8-time NBA All-Star, proving that he was not just tall, but incredibly talented. When injuries forced Yao to retire in 2011, he didn't simply disappear. Instead, he bought his old team in China, became a global ambassador for the NBA, and dedicated himself to promoting basketball worldwide. Yao Ming didn't just reach for greatness. He grabbed it with both hands, showing that sports can unite people, no matter how high the barriers seem. Number 1, Denis Siplenkov. Denis Siplenkov was born in 1982 in Ukraine, and he's not just a man, he's a force of nature. Standing 186 centimeters, 6 feet 1 inch, tall, and weighing a massive 140 kilograms, 308 pounds, Denis is big all over. But it's his arms that leave people in awe. His forearms measure over 50 centimeters, nearly 20 inches, around. That's like having a small watermelon for an arm. And his hands? They're so strong that he can crush apples with a single squeeze. Dennis's journey into arm wrestling began in his early 20s. He was already an accomplished powerlifter, but when he tried arm wrestling, he found his true calling. His first matches were over in seconds, leaving opponents stunned. Before long, whispers began spreading. Have you heard about the guy with the monster forearms? Since then, Denis Cyplenkov's career has been nothing but victory after victory. He's won national titles, European championships, and world titles, competing in both left and right-hand categories. It's like a boxer becoming world champ in 2 weight classes simultaneously. Even after years of dominating the sport, Denis trains like he's just getting started, constantly pushing the limits of what the human body can achieve.